All
All
right.
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Saturday morning wonderful training time with Jeremy Jenkins. And we sure appreciate his time. I was kidding, Jeremy. I haven't shaved this morning. Hank said it's overrated. So, I'm not shaving this morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning here in Salt Lake City. And I'm very anxious to see what Jeremy has for us. I don't know if you guys know, it's a difficult thing to prepare a training for every week that's different, exciting, and that people relate to. So I appreciate your efforts, Jeremy. I just want you to know that. And with that, I'm turning it over to you, brother.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Saturday, like Steve said, beautiful. We're excited. Love the summer months. So many things to go do and see and experience. But you chose to be here with us today. So we'll definitely respect your time. We'll try and keep it to the 30-ish minutes or so. But we had a lot going on this week. Major updates that were happening. And, we always like the analogy of, when you're building a skyscraper, you got to have the foundation, right? If the foundation is at all weak, then that skyscraper will crumble and fall. So, and all of that work takes literally months and months and months. And then all of a sudden it seems like the building itself goes up in a matter of, a few weeks, right? It's like super fast once the foundation's done. And that's what's happening. And we've got more pieces of that foundation this week with our new Gnodi wallet, a new Gnodi website. There's a new light paper and all these things coming out, and all the audit things and everything, all that infrastructure they have to put together. So then all of a sudden now you can build, right? And so we're going to dive into that today. We're going to talk about the new Gnodi wallet. We're going to understand what DRP means, digital reward points, and should be really fun. So here we go. Let me share this presentation. You can see that now. Gnodi wallet deep dive. Okay. So as always, our quick disclaimer, when we're talking about anything to do with Gnodi, Cirrus, we are not guaranteeing anything. We're not promising anything. It's not tied to any kind of financial return, passive income, any of those things. It's not investment, right? Financial advice, any of that stuff. Okay. This is just educational and for your benefit, so you can maximize your potential with the Cirrus and Gnodi opportunity. Okay, let's dive into this. Gnodi wallet deep dive. This is our new home base, right? So we're talking a little bit about migration because we're moving away from the old wallet, the Voltix wallet, to the new one. We're going to talk about this new DRP system. And this is a key thing I've been trying to wrap my mind around for the last little while. And I finally got clarity with the new website that they gave us, gnodipowered.com. It has the actual formula there. And so we're going to go into that and really understand it. We're going to talk about, the governance and how it's all, tied together now, one place to go for everything, which is wonderful. And then the other great news, Node token is at 0.005 as of yesterday. It's going up. Okay, so cool stuff. All right, first thing, Voltix is retiring. So we're going to meet the new Gnodi wallet. This is the new part of the ecosystem that's maturing. Okay, we're always seeing maturation here. It's one integrated home base for everything Gnodi. So what Voltix was, of course, was our original wallet. That's where we were getting our rewards. We were converting rewards into Node token. It was good. It was fine, right? But it did not have, it wasn't tied into the DAO for voting. It didn't show, the Constitution. It didn't really have transparency on the DRP breakdown. It didn't have, no license management. It didn't have host, any of that stuff, right? But it was fine for what it was, and it allowed us to stake and those things. Well, what the new wallet does, the new Gnodi wallet, is it's full integration now. Okay, so it's built from the ground up to reflect the blockchain's maturity, because it's getting mature. We've already had our first year. We've already had our first halving. So you can go get it now at app.gnodipowered.com, just on the web browser. There's no app yet. Okay. My understanding is that will come at some point, but now you can do everything all in one. right? Now you have access to the governance with voting, and you can see the voting history. Now you can get to the Constitution. You can see the documentation. Now you can see, and this is the most important part, in my opinion, reward transparency and see exactly what you're earning from. Okay. You can see your node licenses now. You can see the hosting, what's going on with the hosting of your nodes, all those things now. And then the other thing that also is coming soon, not there yet, but we've been told it's in development, is that you can see the real-time market pricing of the different assets, right? So whether it's Gnodi token, Ethereum, USDT, whatever it is, USDC, that will show live at some point. You can go in there and kind of see, oh, okay, this is what, Ethereum's being priced at. This is what Bitcoin's being priced at. And then, of course, most important, what Gnodi is being priced at, right? So pretty fun. So first step, if you haven't done it already, you need to migrate. Okay. We're not sure exactly when Voltix will be retired, but it is being retired. It's going to go away. And so, rather kind of relatively urgently, we all need to go in and do this if you haven't already. Okay. Good news is it's really easy. You don't have to create a brand new 12-word seed phrase, right? That's automatically been migrated over. You don't have to, redo everything. It's really just as simple as going into your old Voltix wallet, taking a snapshot of it, doing an export. There's a little link there you can click on to download it into an Excel or a spreadsheet type file, just to have a backup, just to be safe. Not that we expect anything. I haven't heard anybody that's had anything missing or anything like that, but just in case, right? Just in case, take a picture of it, screenshot it, download that Excel file, so you got a record. Okay, then you just go over to app.gnodipower.com. At the very bottom, there's a link that says Voltix migration. You click on it, and then it will prompt you to put in your email and then choose a new password. And that is it. That's all you got to do. Once you've created your new password for it, you can go ahead and log in with that new password, your email and your password. It's done. It's ready. Okay. Very, very simple. Now, the only other thing you may want to do that again is optional is on the Voltix wallet, right? We had the slider, right? The little ticker thing that if you wanted to auto deposit your rewards into Gnodi tokens, and that is disabled in the new wallet. So if you want to do that, you have to do it again. Okay, you have to click on it again to have it turned on so it auto deposits. So, but that's the only thing. That's the only thing you got to do. And then once you've done that, you're all set. Okay, so go get it done. If you have any questions, if you need some help, reach out, let us know. Whoever is available, we're more than willing to help you make that migration and make sure you're set. Okay, so pretty cool. And then the wallet address, I'm not sure if it stays the same or not. If you've transferred Gnodi tokens to another person, my guess is it's probably different. It's probably I haven't confirmed that, but not that we've been using it a lot anyway, so shouldn't matter too much. But yeah, double check. Just double check if you're sending Gnodi to somebody now, back and forth, that you're using the new updated address in your Gnodi wallet. Okay. All right. So here are the 5 live sections of the new Gnodi wallet. First, you got your rewards, right? It's showing your rewards. It's showing what you're getting every day, right? What's being deposited. You can go in and kind of see the breakdown now of whether it's coming from stacks or coming from Omni subscriptions, or coming from Safe, or coming from your nodes, or whatever, right? It shows all the breakdown, which is really cool. And we'll get into the calculation of how that works here in a minute. You can also see all your nodes now, right? It shows your nodes and your licenses. You can see which ones are active, how many you have, all that kind of stuff. You've got the governance now in there, right? So if there's any proposals, any upcoming votes, anything that needs to happen with that, you can now access it directly right in your Gnodi wallet. The Constitution, right? Showing there. Now you can go in and kind of just see, the white paper and all those details. And then, of course, you've got the hosting. It shows, what if you wanted to host on your own computer, you can. That is an option. But for most people, it's a little bit more complicated than it's worth. I definitely, especially considering it's only basically $2 a month, for a full node to host it over at One Click Hosting. So, that, and unless you really, really just don't want to spend the money to pay for hosting, you could put it on your own computer. But now you've got to make sure your computer's on all the time and connected to the internet and everything. So, but it's there. It's available for those that really want to do that. They like it, and that's fine. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about DRP, digital reward points. Okay, so DRP is now how we are going to measure the contributions to the ecosystem. Okay, so and it will determine our share of the daily node token. Okay, so here's the issue, and I always wondered this. I questioned it a little bit, not too much, but now that they've explained this, and we're going to see it, it makes a lot more sense. Because I was like, well, how are they going to guarantee, right? We've always said, oh, you're going to get, 40 rewards every day if you have a meet and subscription, for example, right? Or you're going to get for sure 100%, you're going to get 60 rewards if you have a stacks, right? Like they had a fixed number on that. And I thought, okay, that's fine for now, but down the road, right, in the future, when there's way more people doing this and we have another halving or whatever, how are they going to be able to do that, right? Like there's not going to be enough in the daily distribution to pay all that out. And so I thought, well, they're just going to have to adjust it. That's what I assumed. I thought in the future, a year from now, 2 years from now, they were just going to have to say, okay, sorry guys, stacks only pays this much now, or whatever. But this makes a lot more sense in my opinion. So let's really understand it. Okay. So what is happening now is we're getting fixed value points assigned to every node, every service subscription, all the activities that we do, right? Referrals, things like that. They're now considered DRP, which is not exactly tied to node, like on a one-on-one, okay? And it can be, but it's not specific, okay? So let's try and understand it. So for example, if you have a safe subscription, you're getting that 20 DRP, okay? An Omni Plus, 210 DRP. There's no variation based on network conditions. It doesn't matter how many people are doing it or whatever, okay? Because it's not node token itself. DRP is just a measurement unit. It's not the token. So you're accumulating DRP every day, and then that DRP is converted into the Gnodi tokens through that midnight calculation that happens, right? So every night at midnight, they deposit, the daily rewards, as we say, but it's now mathematically done, calculated on a percentage, okay? So we are still earning through participation, right? So nodes earn the DRP. Why? Because they are keeping a copy of the ledger, right? That's the whole point. When you have, it's kind of like the analogy that Bob gives, right? That if you go to the bank and there's the teller person and you say, hey, I need to deposit this $100 bill into my account, and that person then does it and puts it into the computer, right? That's doing a transaction. Well, that's what nodes do, right? You say, hey, I need to send this money or these tokens to somebody, and it does it. So your node is doing the work of keeping a copy of that ledger. So, you're getting paid for that, right? You're getting rewarded for that activity. And that's what nodes do. So it keeps that. So it's doing a daily amount. Okay. So a full node is basically 100 DRP. Okay. So you're also getting it for referral activity, right? When you sign somebody up and they buy a node, you're getting that certain amount of DRP for that transaction, okay? Or when somebody gets a subscription, you get the DRP for that activity, okay? Now, and of course, the more DRP that you have, the larger share of the daily node is going to be distributed to you at midnight, okay? So now you can see in your wallet what your balance is, like what's happening on a daily basis that gives you a certain amount of reward points, okay, that then convert into actual node token in the night, depending on what percentage you have of the total, okay? And we'll go through some examples. So why does DRP matter now? Because it's now how you can calculate what your position is actually doing on a daily basis, okay? And as the community grows, more DRP is getting put out there, okay? And so but in the end, it just determines your cut. That's what it is. The more DRP points you have on in a daily basis, you're going to get a bigger cut of the pool, right, of node that gets distributed every night at midnight, okay? So let's kind of just distinguish again. DRP is fixed per product. It's predictable. It's measurable. It measures your ecosystem contribution. And node or Gnodi token, right, is variable. It's variable through the daily allocation, okay? So the actual token that's deposited to your wallet is based on your DRP percentage of the community total. So you could kind of think of it this way, and I don't not that I like to use the lottery, but you could think of it like lottery tickets, right? And the more lottery tickets you buy, the better chance you have of winning the lottery. Well, the more tickets or DRPs you have, it means more or a bigger share of the daily prize, which is the Gnodi pool. Okay, all right. So let's kind of dive a little bit more deep into this. So we've got fixed DRP per product per day, okay? So a full node, for example, right? You buy it one time, $1,200, you're getting daily 100 DRP. Okay, simple enough, right? Half nodes, 50 DRPs, quarter nodes, 25 DRPs, and mini nodes are 10 DRPs. Okay, that's cool. Then we also have referrals and activities, right? DRP per event. So you have signups and renewals, you have hosting a meet and call like right now, right, that we're doing, and other eligible activities, people purchasing gift cards with stacks, all those things, right? They all produce per event type transactions where you're earning the DRP, okay? And it actually is triggered by the event, right? Not just because it pays out daily. So, for example, somebody signs up for Omni Plus, that's a 2,000 DRP referral bonus you're getting, right? You're getting paid in DRP, okay? And that's great because now you're going to get a bigger portion of the actual Gnodi tokens that are paid out at midnight, okay? So, and you can just kind of see all, how it all pays out with the SaaS subscriptions too. Omni Plus, 210 a day. The Omni normal bundle, 110 a day. Stacks is 60, Meeting is 40, and Safe is 20. Okay, so pretty cool. But here is the math for those that are math wizards or that are like econ specialists, whatever. You want to figure out how math or money works. So here's what it is. And this is right from the nodipowered.com website, okay? You can go there and kind of see a little bit more about it. But the idea is as long as there's enough tokens being paid out on a daily basis, they will try and keep it 1-to-1, okay? So, if you have all of us doing all our different things, referring people, hosting meetings, having our node, daily node payout, whatever, if there was enough node token being paid out to match what the 1-to-1 on the DRP, then it will, right? It'll be 1-to-1 and you'll get the full amount, okay? But it's also, it depends, right? It's proportional if it's over the bucket, right? Like if there was more DRP paid out in a day than there are Gnodi tokens, then they have to calculate a percentage, right? So what that is basically this formula right here. So you have all the individual Gnodi tokens, okay? It's equal to the DRP divided by the total network DRP. So it takes all the DRP that was paid out across the board for everybody in the whole company, right? Or in the whole community. And then it takes your total sum, and then it calculates a percentage of how much your total sum is compared to the total. And then that percentage is what then gets paid out in Gnodi tokens to you. Okay. So this structure enforces daily emission ceilings. It supports fair participation distribution. It aligns rewards with measurable contribution, and it preserves long-term ecosystem sustainability, right? So in other words, it really is a good thing because it basically means, hey, just go out and get as much DRP as you can, knowing that you're just increasing your percentage of the rewards you're going to get in the night. Okay. And so that's why on a daily basis, what you get paid in rewards is going to be different every single day, because every single day, different things are happening. New people are signing up. Some people are subscribing. Some people are not, right? And there's just so many things happening. So that it will vary on a daily basis based on this calculation. Okay. So how does DRP become Gnodi token? Well, the midnight calculation, right? Every night at midnight, your DRP share of the community total determines your cut of the daily Gnodi pool. Okay. So at midnight, the blockchain will tally all the DRP accumulated by every person in the ecosystem during that day across all the nodes, the subscriptions, the referrals, and activities. Okay. So for an example, let's just say it was 1 million, right? So 1 million DRP paid out across the entire community in a single day. Okay. Well, then what it does is it simultaneously, your individual DRP total for the day is calculated, okay? And the sum of all your active nodes, your subscriptions, your referrals earned during that day, it all totals together, okay? And so if yours was 450, let's say you got 450 total DRP because you had an Omni Plus subscription plus a full node, right? Plus maybe you referred somebody, okay? Then it takes, it divides that, right? It divides your total DRP by the community total to determine your percentage of the entire ecosystem for that day. So, 450 divided by 1 million. So that's 0.045%, okay? So then it gives your node allocation. So the daily node emission from the blockchain, determined by the halving schedule and all that, right? Because it will change over the years, is multiplied by your percentage to calculate your exact node award for that day. Okay. So that's what you get actually deposited. So pretty, I mean, it's kind of simple in a way. I know you probably have to think about it a lot and kind of really, see some scenarios, but the point is the node earnings grow as you add more DRP generating products and events and activities. Okay, that is the goal. The goal is to just increase as much DRP into your personal situation as possible, because then you're just going to get a bigger percentage of the daily allocation, right? So pretty cool. All right. So here is an actual live shot breakdown of kind of what it looks like. So you can see, and this is my situation. I've got 3 full nodes, right? 3 full nodes, 300 points. And then I've got 11 mini nodes. So I'm getting 110 points from my 11 mini nodes because it's 10 per, right? I'm getting 20 points because, so I've got the Omni bundle, but it still breaks it out because in your Omni bundle, you've got Meetin and you've got Safe and you've got your booster, right? If you're on the Omni Plus, and then you've got stacks and so on. Okay, so you can see here how it breaks out that, okay, so I'm getting 20 from the Meetin, I'm getting 100 because I referred somebody to Safe, okay? I'm getting 10 for my own Safe. I'm getting 100 for my own the booster part of the Omni Plus. I got 600 because I referred somebody to Stacks, right? Somebody that I said, hey, you should go get Stacks, and they got it. And then my own Stacks is part of my Omni bundle, right? And then another Meetin, and I'm thinking this bottom Meetin one is from hosting, right? I did 2 meetings that day, and so I got another 20. So there's my total daily reward points, 1,320 points for that. So then I go up and I look and I say, okay, what's my total rewards? Well, oh, look at that. I'm getting right? 1,584, but that's also including other things, right? Like that's including, let's see, I don't see the staking on there, but you can see it's actually a little bit more, right? Instead of just the 1,020, I got 1,584, and that's because it did do one-to-one plus some other stuff, because right now we're still young, the company's still not overflowing the bucket, right? But down the road, eventually it could reduce because maybe more people were doing more stuff, right? Okay, so here is the other really cool thing. The proof of concept idea is that node is now at 0.005. Okay, so basically half a cent. So what does that mean? It was only listed a few weeks ago. So in just a few weeks, right, we've already gone 2.5 times in value because it listed originally at 0.002. So here's the history. The Gnodi block, or original Genesis block, went live April of 2025. Okay, we got on CoinMarketCap, right, at 0.002. It started trading on Osmosis, which is a decentralized exchange in the Cosmos ecosystem. We had our first halving, okay, in April 2026. And now, as of today, okay, it's 0.005. Actually, Mark Golding just mentioned in the comments that it actually, as of 1 minute ago, it's up to 0.007. So it's growing, guys. It's growing in value, which is awesome. But it's trading exclusively on this osmosis system. Okay, so it's not on an actual exchange yet. That's coming, but yeah. So look at that, 150% gain from the initial listing price. So that's at 0.007, almost to a penny now, right? I mean, think about that. Just in a few weeks, what it's done. Okay, so what is Osmosis? Just so you understand, Osmosis is a leading decentralized exchange, or what they call a DEX, okay, that's built on the Cosmos blockchain ecosystem. Unlike centralized exchanges, Coinbase, Kraken, and others, Osmosis is more peer-to-peer, okay? So traders can swap tokens directly through liquidity pools without a central authority, and it's set completely by market forces on Osmosis. So that's kind of phase one of being, having your token out there being traded, and then eventually it will go on to an actual exchange. So, but it's not yet, right? Gnodi is not on a central exchange yet. What that means is most retail crypto investors haven't even seen it yet. Okay, they don't even know what it is. But when it does list on a major exchange, that event historically will drive significant volume and price discovery. So the osmosis price of 0.005 and now 0.007 is your pre-exchange entry point. It's really amazing to think about what's happening, as we're just getting this thing out there. Okay. The other thing that's really important to know in your wallet, of course, is the governance, your voice in the DAO, right? The decentralized autonomous organization, where you have a vote, you have a say, and you can submit proposals, you can see community reviews, you can participate in voting. There's that when the thresholds are met, they execute it, and that's great because what it means is this is, it's like a constitution, right? It's a guaranteed thing. It's set in stone unless we as a community vote to change things. And it's all done through smart contracts. So on a blockchain, so nobody can manipulate things. Really, really cool. Okay. So you can kind of go in there and see how it all is set up with that 40-40-10-10 distribution model. And you can see what the future is going to hold as we have governance and we participate in that, right? And voting is crucial, right? It builds credibility. You can talk about that. It's a recruiting tool in a way, right? That we are part of a community and we have a voice and all those things. Really, really fun. Okay, so what is in the Constitution? Well, it has all the things, right? This is the immutable founding document that defines what you own, how it's protected, and what the ecosystem is committed to. And I would say one of the key things about this is like down at the bottom, it says for recruiting, right? Recruiting use. when a prospect asks, what stopped them from just changing the rules, right? Like, I think we've all been in that situation where we've been in different companies in the past or whatever, where the company just decides arbitrarily, oh, we're going to change this. We're going to, change the comp plan. We're going to, do the different things, right? We're going to switch from network marketing to affiliate model. What all those different things that company owners just decide, right? And we have no say. And oh well. Well, the beauty of this model is that they can't just go change the rules, because the constitution of the DAO protects all of this. Okay. And so it's all on chain, it's immutable, constitutionally protected, and then it's based on voting. So there has to be a proposal. We all vote on it. Now, it doesn't mean that the majority aren't going to choose something that maybe we don't like. That could always, happen, of course, right? Potentially. But for the most part, it protects us, right, from just some owner deciding, I just don't want to do it anymore or something, right? It's a decentralized, autonomous organization that we all participate in. That is so critical, so fun. Okay, so go study it, go research it. Make sure you've read through the Constitution, understand your rights, and how you can participate. All right, so wallet security. Here's another critical factor when we're talking about wallets, right? We just want to make sure that we're not going to get hacked. We're not going to lose it. There's nothing sadder than hearing the stories about people who had a Bitcoin wallet 15 years ago, and they lost their keys, or somebody manipulated them and hacked in and stole their Bitcoin. Like, we hear all those stories, right? And it's just sad. But I heard one just this last week of a guy who literally, it took him like 8 years to finally do a workaround to get into his wallet that had like $8 million in it. It's like he was stressing out for like 8 years trying to figure out, how do I get into my wallet? I can't remember. And he finally did it. He finally got his Bitcoin that was in there. So anyway, just super careful. We got to be really, really careful with our wallet and what we're doing with it and everything. So definitely use a strong, unique password. Okay. Just, don't go crazy, but make sure you have that mix of letters and numbers and symbols, everything. And then as they joke around, they say, put your 12 keywords into, write them down, put them in a plastic bag, put it in your freezer. Right? So you can always recover your wallet. Use a dedicated email address, right? One that you actually use, because if you ever need to reset your password or anything, or you need to get back into it, it will send an email, and so you got to have access to that email. So don't just use a made up email that you might lose at some point or something, right? It's okay to use your primary email. It's fine. Don't ever share your login credentials, right? Blockchain, Cirrus, no, they're never going to ask for your password. So, if somebody's asking for it, don't give it out, because it's not them. It's somebody trying to hack you. Definitely use the two-factor authentication. Make sure you bookmark the official URL, and just know that your balance is non-custodial. What does that mean? Non-custodial. Well, it means that it's on the blockchain, right? It means that it is not owned by Blockchain. It's not owned by Cirrus, right? The balance and everything going on the blockchain is non-custodial. In other words, if you lose your 12-word password thing, and if you can't log into your email, no one can help you. Cirrus can't just go in and say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll just reset it for you, right? They can't. It's non-custodial. Now, so that has its pros and cons, right? Now, the con is, if you lose it, it's gone. It's gone forever. Okay. There's nobody that can, nobody at corporate, Bob and Craig, they would not be able to help you, right? Because it's not in their power to do so. But the pro of all of this is, again, it doesn't matter if, Bob and Craig decide to go leave and do something else, or, whatever. It's still yours. You own it. It's not, it doesn't belong to the company. It belongs to you. Okay. So it's great because nobody can freeze or confiscate your Gnodi tokens. No platform can touch your balance, right? Your seed phrase is auto-migrated, okay? But if your account is ever compromised, act fast, contact support, and they can maybe see if they can help you, all right? But definitely watch out for red flags. If someone's saying, hey, I can help you with your wallet or account recovery, or emails with weird login links or something that looks similar but a little bit off, right? Just be careful because hackers, they know how to do what we call social manipulation, and they'll just to get into your wallet and steal your stuff. Okay, so just be really careful, recognize the scams. Okay, so what's your wallet action plan? So day one, go migrate, right? Export your wallet stuff from Baltics. Make sure that you've requested all your rewards. Go to the new wallet, log in, reset your password, all that stuff. Make sure it's set to auto deposit, so on. Day two, learn it and understand it now. Go in and read the Constitution. Go in and understand the DRP breakdown. Go in and understand how Gnodi prices are trading on osmosis, right? Understand the voting and the governance, all those kinds of things, okay? And look at your license and make sure your hosting is set up correctly. Day three, go in if you haven't voted, right? There might still be some things to vote on, okay? And then work with your team and make sure they understand all this. That is super important. And then the other cool thing is that now, as a recruiting tool, you can go in and you can kind of screenshot, right? You can, oh, look, this is what I got, rewarded today. This was my daily rewards. And you can post that, right? Just put it onto your social media, send it to some friends, right? Hey, look what I got. Look at how, I got rewarded today because I hosted a meeting or something, right? And then finally, just make sure every day you're understanding it, right? Logging in, requesting those rewards, seeing how the breakdown, everything. Set some goals for yourself, right? Set a DRP milestone. How many DRP do you want to be getting on a daily basis within 90 days? That kind of stuff, right? Like, okay, what could I do if I'm, on my own subscription with nodes and referrals and things, right? That kind of stuff. Share your wallet setup work through as a short content piece, right? Just to kind of, draw attention to yourself. Like, what are you doing, right? Why is he posting stuff about this wallet? What is that? And you'll get people asking you, like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? What is this new Gnodi wallet thing you keep talking about, right? So lots of fun things you can do with it. Okay, so here's the 5 takeaways. Migration is simple. Export your Baltics history. Go to app.gnodipower.com, do the migration, get your new password. All of it's just pretty automatic, pretty simple. Number 2, understand the new DRP model, okay? They are fixed per product per day, and Omni Plus 210, full node 100, safe 20, so on. These are points that now determine your percentage of the community total, which is then multiplied by the daily pool at midnight to calculate your actual node deposit. Know that as of yesterday it was 5.005. Today it's 0.007, which is a 2.5x from its original 0.002 listing price. We're trading exclusively on Osmosis now, which is a decentralized exchange. It's not yet on a centralized exchange like a Coinbase or a Binance or anything, but that will come eventually, right? And when it does list, that will drive significant new price discovery. Number 4, governance, Gnodi Constitution, reward transparency, node licenses, hosting, all of that is now in your wallet. You can go check it out, study it, learn it, understand it, so you can explain it to other people, vote, participate. This is our community. And then finally, the reward section is your most important daily habit. It shows your DRP by source, your node allocation, and it flags if anything goes quiet. And so if a subscription stops generating DRP, for example, you see it immediately, and you can go in and be like, hey, what happened? Why did my subscription stop? Did I not get billed this month or whatever? Right? You can now see what's going on, which is really good. So that is the new wallet. Questions, comments? What do you guys think?
I thought that was awesome, Jeremy. I saw some of the comments and I loved Hank's comment. What a great breakdown of your DRP. That helps people see it in real time. Matter of fact, Jerem, you could probably use that very successfully, I think, in a recruiting situation. Say, I don't, I always I had a lot of people in my groups in the past that kind of play dumb. I don't really know what's going, but look at this. And when you see what Hank said, what a great breakdown of your DRP, your digital reward points. That was awesome. I also like Mark being our official watcher. I did the same thing that he did, but I was going to wait until the end to tell you that went up to 0.0078. But what a go, Mark. I thought that was awesome. Hey, we're going the right direction, and that's how we felt in the last year. We're going the right direction and hanging in there, starting. We use the phrase "pay dividends," but I mean that's just a phrase. But who knows what's going to happen here in the future? It's pretty exciting. So, with that, is there anybody has a question or a statement?
Sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to step on your toes.
No, I'm just teasing you, Mark. Totally teasing you. I was as excited as you were when I saw that. It was exciting. You're not stepping on my toes. I'm just giving you a bad time. I thought, oh, this is going to be funny when we get to the end and let Jeremy know. But
love it. All right. Well, nobody else. Then, hey, thanks for jumping on, and I will get this recording out to you as soon as possible. And have a